How many of us are riding the struggle bus a little bit recently when it comes to social media? How many of us struggle a little bit with leads and attention and trying to figure out our niche and all this stuff? Listen, I am telling you, Brock is one of the absolute best when it comes to this conversation. In fact, we're constantly like, he'll do these Instagram posts or he'll put out content. I'm like sending it to Nadya, and then Nadya is sending me his stuff on all the updates. It's almost like he's got like the ultimate inside scoop of what's working. And a lot of what was working a year ago ain't working today. So we're going to get into it. Brock, what's up? Excited to have you here, brother. Could you start off a little bit with just your story, your background, and your level of expertise, and then we'll get into the goods.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, John. I'm so excited to get to present to everyone today because what you said is absolutely true. What was working on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok a year ago, or even 6 months ago, or heck, even like 3 months ago has changed, and it's always evolving and changing. For anyone who has no idea who I am Chalene Johnson's son. But over the past few years, I have built a large following of my own at a rate of 1,000 new followers per day for over 2 years straight, to the point where now I have almost as many followers as my mom. I haven't quite passed her yet, but
don't they also now call Chalene Brock's mom? Isn't that like the new thing?
Yeah. That's how she introduces herself. Yeah, she says, "Hi, I'm Brock's mom." No, I'm just kidding.
That's fun. That's great.
But yeah, so this has been a really rapid journey, but it's been a consistent journey. And I think that's one thing that all business owners hopefully want to strive for, is not one viral post that might blow up your business 1 month, but consistent, sustained results. And that's what we've been able to generate, not just for my Instagram account, not just for our business, but for all of our students as well. And it's really exciting for me to get to constantly like geek out over this stuff, study the algorithms. I've actually recently become an advisor for Meta. So I work closely with Instagram and Facebook staff on helping them kind of develop some of their products and giving them feedback on what their users are actually saying, because I think we'd all agree that they can be somewhat out of touch. So I'm really happy that I've been able to do that recently. And I'm excited today to get to talk to everyone about some of these new changes and what's been going on specifically around selling on Instagram.
I love that, because at the end of the day, that's why most of us, at least the people that are paying attention to our training videos, they're always tuning in because they want to get better results in their business. They want to get better at posting, prospecting, so they can make more profit. So let's get into it, man. Excited to have you on. Thanks, Brock.
Are we really in a social media recession? What is really going on in the world of social media right now? There are some real stats that I don't want to scare people with. But they are scary and they should be taken seriously, right? Because they're indications of where the market is headed and how we're going to have to do different things as business owners and entrepreneurs to adapt. So some stats that we've recently collected is, first of all, 91% of users report that their views have dropped on their reels. Type a number 1 in the chat right now if you feel like your views have gone down on your Facebook reels, your Instagram reels. I was actually just yesterday scrolling back and looking at some of my old content from a year and a half ago, where I was regularly making jokes about how easy it was to go viral. And people were going viral seemingly overnight with random posts. And now it's just so much tougher. 91% of people report that their views are down. There's also the possible TikTok ban. In numerous countries, different governments have banned TikTok. Personally, I don't think it's going anywhere, but it could, right? And it's the reality that social media can be taken away from us in a moment. Reels bonuses were recently canceled. Reels bonuses were the program where Facebook and Instagram were paying users a monthly, basically a monthly amount based off the views they got. That was canceled last month. So now the income that people were receiving from that has been taken away. And of course, Twitter made headlines recently by announcing that if you aren't paying for their verification services, you will not be shown to new users. You're basically only going to be able to maybe connect with your followers, but no one new. And so that's what leads us to say that we are in a social media recession and it's here, but I don't want to scare you. I just want to be honest about where we are. And let's talk about the now what. Where are we headed next? What is coming next? What we're going to talk about today, what you can expect, is 2023 strategies for selling. We're going to get really nitty gritty. I'm going to give you the exact formulas for selling. Massive value delivered quickly. So if I go too fast at any point, just let me know, but I'm going to be flying. So I hope, you got your pen and piece of paper ready. Your hand will probably cramp up at some point, but just stick with me. I'm going to give you some actual templates and then the back end business systems. Despite the fact that we are in a social media recession, that views and engagement are down for pretty much everyone, we all love to buy things. So even though it's true that views and likes or engagement are down, we're all still looking to buy things. And luckily for us, there are 5 pretty consistent reasons why people buy things. People buy things for 5 main reasons. And this isn't based off of like what works for my Instagram account or what works for my mom's social media. This is based off of human psychology. This is based off of marketing and selling that has been collected for hundreds of years. So the reasons people buy things, first of all, to save time. Second, to make or to save money, right? How many of us have bought something because we think we're going to save money if we purchase this coupon book, or we're going to make some money if we invest in this course? We buy things to avoid pain or loss, right? To avoid the FOMO of missing out. We buy things to transform or improve, to make a shift in our life. Like I think of, diet and weight loss companies. So much in fitness is around transforming or improving your life. And then we also buy things to feel good. What does your product do? Does it help people save time? Does it help people save or make money, avoid pain or loss, transform, or feel good? Maybe it's even all of them together. And if it's all of them together, which is awesome, that means you or whoever created the product did a great job of making it. But even if you have all 5 of these things, there's still ultimately one key ingredient that we're missing. And I'm going to be honest, I literally just got back from getting a haircut. My hair was double this length. So it was like 4 millimeters and now it's like 2 millimeters. But I went up the street, drove about 10 minutes down the road to the local barber. And he's the guy who I always have cut my hair. He's the only guy who will cut my hair. It's not a hard haircut to do. It's not like I have some fancy hairstyle. I don't have like, my mom's got this new like wolf cut, right? That's the trendy haircut now. So it's like, I don't need to go to some fancy hairstylist. I could go to any barber. I could have my wife cut my hair if I wanted to. It's just a buzz cut. There's nothing fancy about it. But I drive past multiple other barbers and I don't let my wife cut my hair and I don't go to the cheapest option. I go to this one specific barber like 10 minutes down the road and he's got this little tiny hole in the wall shop. I've never seen any other customer. I'm pretty sure I'm his only patron. But I go to him because I trust him. We've built a relationship. We've built a connection. I enjoy being in his presence because he's someone who I know his values. I know that we have a relationship. We've told each other stories and I know about his grandkids and his daughter who lives in San Diego. I know about him personally. And so even though there are plenty of other barbers, maybe even including my wife in the area, who could save me time, who could save me money, who I could, transform just as easily. I would feel just as good walking out with that same fresh buzz haircut. What they don't have is trust. And trust is the ultimate factor for getting people to make a purchase. And the reason for that is that we all went through 2020, right? Trust used to be a lot lower on the list. 20, 30 years ago, it didn't matter as much if you trusted who you were doing business with. It wasn't as important to consumers as a whole to really have a relationship with the people they are purchasing from. It used to matter a lot more, those first 5 things. But now we all went through 2020 and 2021. We're all looking for people to trust. Who can I trust? Who is real? Who is authentic? And who is lying to me? That's why trust matters. So let's talk about what creates trust. Trust is created through familiarity, right? Think about me with that barber down the street. We're familiar with each other. We know each other on a first name basis. Authenticity. He tells me about his fishing trip. So I get to see an actual window into his life. Credibility, he's been doing it for years. Integrity, I know what he's going to consistently do with my hair. He's going to cut it the same way. And time. These are the things that it takes to create trust. And time is the one that I know frustrates everyone because you can build those first 4 pretty quickly. You can get familiar with someone pretty quickly, authentic, you can be credible, you can have integrity, but ultimately it takes time to build trust. How do you get to know someone? That's my question for you. How do you get to know someone? Let's say you're making a new friend, maybe at church or a coffee shop, or you're going on a first date, or my mom always loves to bring up like the dating apps because she's got friends on them. And I'm going to be honest, I have friends on dating apps too. And you know what, now that I say that out loud, I really hope that none of my friends meet any of my mom's friends on a dating app, because that would just be awkward. But how do you get to know someone? Well, it starts, of course, with some amount of curiosity. You have to be curious about the person, about the business, about the profile. There has to be some sort of question there. Imagine if you were to go on a first date. Your friend sets you up on a blind date. You go the old school route. You're not going on a dating app. Your friends are setting you up for a blind date. You go on that blind date, and the person just talks about themselves the entire time. They tell you every little fact and detail and every side story. It's like it's a therapy session because they're just dumping all of this information on you. You don't have any questions that you even want to ask because you know everything now. You're not curious about the person, so there's not likely going to be any more of a relationship. And they don't seem to be very curious about you either. So this relationship ain't going to grow. So at first it takes curiosity. That curiosity, of course, leads to questions, like I mentioned. Those questions create conversations. Conversations are what lead to familiarity, which then leads to trust. And of course, who can take a guess where trust leads? I said it a minute ago. Trust leads to sales. Trust leads to sales. And so, like I said, this takes time. This takes practice. And on social media, there are specific areas where this can be done a lot easier than others. Sure, a lot of this applies to Instagram, but also plenty of this applies to TikTok. It applies to Facebook. It applies to Tumblr and Twitch and Twitter and YouTube and every social media app. I have a pop quiz for you. And this is an Instagram pop quiz. Where do you think it's easiest for someone to get to know you? In the DMs. That's why there's like that song, it goes down in the DMs, right? Like they're sliding into the DMs for a reason. That's where relationships are built. That's where the sneaky affairs happen that rappers rap about. But that's also where relationships are built for business. That's where trust is built. That's where curiosity can be generated and questions can be asked and conversations and familiarity can be had. We're all on the same page. Familiarity, trust, these things are built in the DMs. But how do we often sell on social media? There's a 3-word sentence that is most commonly used when selling on social media, and it's link in bio, link in my bio, right? Click the link in my bio. That is the number one, most common, most popular, probably even most taught way to sell on social media. But like we said, we're here to tell you what isn't working. We're here to tell you, why are we in this social media recession? Well, let's talk about the link in bio. First and foremost, on average, when you say there's a link in my bio, go click the link in my bio. On average, posts that have that phrasing get 33.6% less reach. Then on average, those posts where you say link in bio get 57% lower engagement, and your actual link in bio on average will get a 0.7% click rate. 0.7%, less than 1% will click that bio. And of course, when someone clicks the link in your bio, there is no opportunity for a follow-up or relationship. You have no idea who clicked. You have no idea what their questions were, what their concerns were, what their struggles were. You don't know any of that because you don't even know if they clicked or not. You don't know who did. You don't know how many people did. You're just hoping that the few people who saw your post did. So let's look at what this math, because this is like abstract math. Let's put it in real world terms. So if you have 1,000 followers, on average, your posts reach about 9.34% of your followers. That's on average on Instagram. If you have 1,000 followers, you're going to reach about 93 people, average numbers. Take those 93 people, and now you're reaching 33% less because you said, click the link in my bio. So now you're only reaching 62 people. And of those 62 people, only 0.7% of them will click on that link. Again, these are industry averages. That means on average, you're getting 0.4 clicks. That is hopefully making sense as to, oh, Okay, so that's why it's not working when I say link in bio. It's not that my product is terrible. It's not that my post is bad. It's not that there's anything wrong with me. It's that there's something wrong with the strategy. The practices that are widely being taught are not effective. They're outdated. Let's talk about another one of those strategies. Another really, really popular strategy that a lot of you may be thinking of. Well, Brock, what about the link sticker? A lot of you might have assumed, well, Brock, I know where we're going with this. Don't use the link in bio, use the link sticker on stories. Well, there's some problems with this link sticker. I remember when this link sticker used to only be reserved for people with more than 10,000 followers. And now everyone does use this. Everyone's just slapping link stickers everywhere. And there's some problems with that. First of all, when you use a link sticker on your stories, on average, those stories receive 40% fewer views, 40%, almost cut in half. Also, on average, that actual link only gets about a 1% click-through rate. And again, just like the link in bio, you have no opportunity to follow up or build relationships. There's no opportunity to build familiarity, to build trust, to build that authenticity. None of that is available because you don't even know who the heck clicked. There's no opportunity. Some people say that the fortune is in the follow-up. Well, with the link sticker, there is no follow-up, AKA no fortune. Again, though, let's put these abstract percentages into actual numbers. So again, if you have 1,000 followers, you can expect about 48 views on your story every single day. 4.8% would be 48 views on your story. Now you're getting 40% less views because you said, tap on this link sticker and you put the link to all of your pretty products. 48 views times 40% less. Now you're down to just 29 views. 29 views. And then a 1% click rate on that is 0.29 clicks. So on average, if you have 1,000 followers, you can expect less than half of a click, about a quarter of a click. I don't know how you quarter of a click on something. Last time I checked, that's not where businesses are built. That's not where life-changing income is made. That's not where generational wealth is built. It's not built on 0.29 clicks per story. Does this help you understand maybe why these things aren't working? The strategies that you see other people doing, and so you're just doing yourself, or that your company is telling you to do, or that you saw some other influencer doing, now you're trying, it's not working. So what does work, right? What kind of a teacher would I be if I just told you, here's what not to do? Here's how not to do multiplication. All right, bye everybody, have a good one. No, of course, we're going to talk about what does work. And what does work is to stop selling and start showing up. Start treating people like people. Start building that authenticity, that trust. Start allowing space for curiosity and for questions from your audience. Because again, those questions generate conversations, which build familiarity and trust. Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to get into some examples now. And these examples are specifically, this first one, I should say, is specifically for Instagram stories. It's for Instagram stories. So it's a template that you can apply to your Instagram stories to improve your sales process. But again, I don't want you to think about it as selling. I want you to think about it as showing up, as recommending, as sharing, as giving value to your followers. All right, so let's go through this 5-step story template. First, we're going to post a story that identifies the problem, identifies the issue, and it's best to do this with a poll. Use the poll sticker because that engages your audience. It gives them an opportunity to vote, to click, to self-select, and to engage. So in this example, my mom said, do you struggle to put things away? Because then it's like, you can't see it. You can't see what you have. So you forget what your clothes are. Like the clothes at the bottom of the pile never get worn. You just end up wearing the top 3 things on the pile over and over and again. Yeah. So identify the problem with a poll. Then number 2 is we're going to relate to the problem by telling your story and what you struggle with, how you identify with the problem. And you can do that with a video. I'll play it right now as an example.
The only one who does this. When I put something away in a drawer, if there's anything on top of that thing, it's as if I don't have it. I will buy it again, or I will never wear it again.
So again, just allowing her audience to kind of see that, oh, she relates with my problem, and make sure it's a real story. Like, people can tell when it's a fake made up story. Tell a real story where you have dealt with the problem yourself. Then step 3, share the solution or tip.
Okay, here's my solution. So I bought these towel racks. I stacked one on top of the other. It allows me to quickly put my leggings away without having to fold them. I can see all the colors. I can see what I've worn recently, what I have more of, what colors I don't need to buy more of because I have enough already. For bra tops, same thing. Like, I don't have to fold them. I can see what colors I have. I just put them on these towel racks. It's in my Amazon store, but hope that helps.
Sharing the solution. And I don't know if you caught this, but there was a little tiny slider engagement sticker that popped up on the screen, and that's intentional. My mom was intentionally allowing her audience to engage, to participate, turning this story from a monologue into a dialogue. Because again, the dialogue, the conversation, is where the familiarity and the relationship is built. So she's turning it from a monologue to a dialogue by just using those little engagement stickers. Also, speaking of the algorithm, the more your audience is voting and sliding the slider bar and tapping on buttons and engaging, the more the algorithm will think, oh, this must be a good story. A lot of people are interacting with this. This must be what people want to see. So let's show it to more people. So now this solution already, or this stories template already, is going to reach more people because they are engaging. Then step number 4 is we're going to invite people to send us a keyword. Rather than at this point putting the link and saying tap here, which we know is only going to get 0.29% clicks. Instead, we're going to invite people to send us a keyword. So here in this example, my mom said, comment or reply, shop Amazon. Reply with that phrase, and I will send you the link to my Amazon favorites. So now she has a way to easily get people into her direct messages. Now they're starting a conversation. And from here, there are multiple other routes you can go down. You could set up automation so that when someone sends you that keyword, they send you shop Amazon, they get an automated response. Part of a partnered platform so that when someone sends you that keyword, boom, instantly, you don't even have to do the work yourself. You don't have to hire someone to send 50 direct messages. You can just automatically have a keyword trigger that automatic message to them. Or you could copy and paste. You could do quick replies. You can create text shortcuts to easily send that link to your followers. But now the difference is they've engaged with you. They've sent you a direct message, which again, the algorithm loves that. And you have the opportunity for a follow-up. You have an opportunity to build the relationship, to answer questions, to clear up curiosity so that they're that much more likely not just to click, but to actually purchase and become a customer. Let's go through this 3-step stories template. Number 1, again, we're going to identify with
if you
the
have
problem.
a smaller following and you're active on Instagram and you would like to know how it is people are getting these brand deals, like people with under 1,000 followers getting a brand deal with Kate Spade, like how are people doing that? Let me know if that's something you're interested in learning more about.
Identifying with the problem, showing a poll sticker so that the audience has an opportunity to engage. Step number 2, you're going to teach or share a few facts. So remember, in the 5-step template, this is where we were telling our own story. In this template, step number 2 is going to be sharing some sort of fact or sharing some sort of teaching or education, sharing some things that might surprise people. Like, remember when I was telling you about the facts of why we are in a social media recession? Well, here's an example of how you can do that in a quote unquote sale.
Okay, number 1, brands are not going to reach out to you. You need to reach out to them. Number 2, you need to have all of your things in order before you reach out to them. Number 3, you need to know how to write the appropriate pitch letter and who to pitch to. And there's a few other.
So she's sharing some facts. She's sharing some information about brand deals in this specific case. Then again, step 3, this is as easy as 1, 2, 3, inviting with a specific keyword. I'll show you that now.
There's a few other really important things that you need to know how to do because a lot of people are doing this. So you have to know how to do it the right way so you can stand out. If that's something you would like to learn how to do, I'm going to do a free workshop on Thursday. Send me the word deals and I will send you an invitation. It's free.
Again, you could set this up numerous ways so that once they reply with this keyword, now you are maybe automatically sending them that message. Maybe a member of your team is sending them that message. Maybe you are manually doing it. You're getting a small enough volume that you can personalize each one of these responses. Maybe you're doing a copy and paste. There's multiple methods from here, but this is generating engagement rather than just hoping that people are going to click on the link sticker or go click the link in your bio. All right, so this is stories, but stories oftentimes reach less people than your feed posts, than your reels or the things that you're actually posting to your wall. On average, on social media, your feed posts get more views than your stories in most cases. There are exceptions, but generally speaking, that's how it goes. So let's talk about how to monetize your feed posts. How do you turn those feed posts, which are reaching more people, how do you turn those into sales machines? Again, though, let's remember, we're not selling, we're showing up, we're recommending, we're building this authenticity, this trust in these relationships. So first and foremost, again, we're going to have to create curiosity with these feed posts. When I say create curiosity, you might be like, okay, yeah, fine. Like I'm going to create curiosity, but really, if you're holding up your product, you're like, hey, this is my favorite product, and you can see the label, and you're telling us everything about it, and you're telling us every little ingredient that's in it, and you're telling us where to buy it, and you're telling us every detail. We're not curious. And that's the equivalent of the person who's on the first date who's just talking about themselves. I'm an Aquarius, and my favorite color is bright green, and I had 3 dogs in my life. My favorite one was named Sparky, and my parents got a divorce when I was 12, and I was class president in 8th grade. Okay, but like I'm not curious. I'm not interested. So I'm not saying to intentionally hide things, but what I am saying is to not just be blatant shouting from the rooftops, here's every little fact and detail about my product, because to be honest, most of your followers and your potential customers, they don't care about all those facts and details anyways. So allow for curiosity, allow for questions in your feed posts. And number 2 very much relates to what I was just saying, and that is to focus on, write this down. This is huge. Put a square around it, put a star, highlight it, triple underline it, bold. Benefits rather than features. Focus on the benefits rather than the features. What does this mean? This means that people care about what your product can do for them. Remember those 5 reasons people buy? Save time, trust, transform, feel better, save money. Those are benefits. Those are the reasons people buy. They buy because of the way it makes them feel. They don't buy for the features. We don't buy things because of what percentage glucosamine is in this one ingredient. No, we buy for the benefits. Now, we might buy because of the features, because the features are going to make us feel a certain way, right? Like we might buy something with 0 sugar, but we're not buying it with 0 sugar because of that feature. We're buying it with 0 sugar because we think that that's going to make us feel better and we're going to lose weight. We're buying for the benefits. So when you are selling, and again, I put that in quotes, focus on the benefits rather than the features. Focus on the way your product, the way your service is going to make people feel. Focus on those feelings and emotions, because people aren't going to remember what you said. They're not going to remember the tips you gave. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And also, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So show people that you care by focusing on the benefits of what's in it for them. Next, show, don't just tell. Let us see examples and unboxings and in action and product reveals and demonstrations, right? Those ASMR videos where there's not even anyone talking. We just like can crisply hear the audio. Don't just tell, show. Use a call to action that encourages messages. Don't use the call to action. Go click the link in my bio. Your calls to action need to be simple and that encourage either simple comments or simple messages. A lot of you might use the call to action, the CTA of DM me for more info. But DM me for more info is the equivalent of being on that first date and being like, ask me some questions about me. Ask me about myself. That's kind of icky. That's putting a lot of work and effort into the hands of your consumers, of your customers, of your viewers. Comment the heart emoji if you want more info. DM me flames if you want the link. Comment the word link on this post and I will send you a 20% discount code. That's simple. That's easy. Those are things that people can do mindlessly in just a few seconds. And then the fifth tip that I have for you for selling in the feed is to make content that is edutaining, educational, and entertaining. How many of you have heard social media coaches like yours truly say your posts need to be valuable? You got to make them valuable. You got to be packed full of education and information. Your posts need to be valuable, right? I've been saying this myself for years, but that's changed a little bit. And I'm not saying that value should be taken out of the equation altogether. But what I am saying is that value alone is not going to be enough anymore. It used to be enough to just present us with some new information. But now we have Google and ChatGPT, and I don't want to say her name, but if I say SIRI right now, she will start listening to me and she can answer my question as I talk into my watch. So the age of information, just sharing some tips or facts being enough, is kind of over, right? We go on social media not just to learn things, but to be entertained while we learn things. And so that's why so many of our posts that were working a few months ago, a few years ago, super valuable, they're just not really cutting it anymore. They're not getting the same engagement that they used to be because everyone's constantly improving and getting more entertaining and more captivating. And so if your content is just valuable, that's awesome, but it's not going to get seen. It's not going to get engaged with. Like right here next to me is my bookshelf. There's like 15 books on it, all super valuable, great information, tons of hours and thought and value is in those books. But I'm going to be honest, most of them haven't been read. Most textbooks sit on shelves unread, even though they're full of value because they're not entertaining. So my plea for you is that in your feed posts, make them entertaining, edutainment, have the value, but also you need to be captivating. You need to think about things like color psychology, lighting, framing, captions, audio, video. There's so much that can go into what makes an entertaining video. And so I know that we all feel that the algorithm is against us, but really the algorithm is just a reflection of your audience. So it's not so much that the algorithm doesn't like your content as much that your audience doesn't like your content.